Hello, I'm Transformers fan G138, and I'm here with a video review of Transformers Cybertron Blurr. And honestly, I think this one is pretty neat. This was actually my classic stand-in until they released the Generations Blurr. So this was on my shelf, you know, chilling out as Blurr, because of his head. So for those of you who do recognize the car, he's actually a retool of the Transformers Armada Blurr as a Cybertron, as a Transformers Cybertron Speed Planet car. Although every time you saw him, he was really kind of there. He was a generic Autobot. Several of this car showed up in multiple colors. Anyway, it's got these cannons. Why does this blend in on Earth? Don't know. Why it goes great with Speed Planet though. Which is kind of why he came with the Speed Planet key. I don't know if this is his key. I've since lost track of all the codes, but anyway, it's kind of neat. There's some little bit of issue I have with the legs. They don't fold up the way they should. So if I put this up, they actually don't compress any further like they do on this one. And looking at it, and I measured it with my caliper, this is the same size here, but these tabs in here, when they remolded them, these tabs are just a hair longer. So they don't actually fit in, so I just leave this part down. It's fine. These guys never really rolled particularly well, just because all the panels and where the legs fold down and stuff. So anyway, I still like the car design. I think it's pretty cool. I'd love to put this on display if I had room for it. You know what, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll make some room for it temporarily while I'm waiting for some of my figures to ship. Because I really do like the car mode. So, that being said, where this guy has a mini-con that slides in the back here to unlock this ability, they've actually totally remolded the parts and the missile launcher and the clips for this. Like, all this is new. They got rid of the mini-con ports. They got these engines in here. All the way up to this point is remolded. That entire surface is remolded. And instead of a mini-con, it now takes a Cyber Key. They did this with the hoist mold as well. So these fold out, and then you have access to the missile launchers on the missile launchers, and this turns into kind of a flying car, which I think is cool. Missiles, they don't require a mini-con to launch like the Armada one, which is nice. Just take a look at the Armada one. You actually need the mini-con to launch the missile, which still does not launch particularly well at all. So, missile launchers new on the Cybertron one, phenomenally better than on the Armada version. Phenomenally better. Powerful too. So, for transformation, they say to pull these down. So, part of the transformation is actually activating the Cyber Key. I can't tell you how many times I actually hate that. I really, really hate activating the special feature to transform it. I really do. So, pull down the legs, flip up the front toes and the back. Then, we're going to flip these panels out forward. Temporarily pull this back. This is on a spring. Don't really know why, but it is. I'm sure it was something at some point. So, this is the fun part right here. These actually move forward, both sides. Then fold. These whole things fold down. Now, if you do this right, and this is just from years of practice, fold these arms forward and the head. Now, if you do this right, and pull this whole assembly up and then back down. And, oh, you did not see that at all. Sorry. So if you do this, you pull this whole assembly up and back down, the whole thing auto-transforms. Not really, but it kind of has the illusion. So, honestly, this is pretty cool. So, he can actually still hold the original guns because he has the peg in the upper arm for the weapons. But the way these new ones are molded, they actually go in his fingers. Which is neat. Which means he can't hold them straight. But still, I like them. They can still store here, because like they did in Transformers Armada. So, it's cool. You can also just put these back, but when you do that, it looks like the back half of the car is just hanging off them. It is, but it actually looks it now. So, he's got a new head sculpt on this version, which is more classics designed, and I don't think there's even a surface on this head that is not painted. So, I think the entire head is painted, which is interesting. But it's got a classics head. Like I said, this was my fill-in for classics Blurr until Generations Blurr came out. So, the color is way more G1, the head is more G1, and overall, a little more G1 looking. For posability, like a lot of Transformer Armada guys, he has none. He's got a little bit of a swivel here, and he's got a double jointed elbow, and he's got a hinge, and his arm moves a bit, and that's it. And he's got the guns and missile launchers. So basic posability, but still a nice figure. I recommend picking it up just because it's a fun toy. This is a fun toy. This is not a collector's toy, this is a fun toy. Most of the I feel like that for most Transformers Armada figures. So, that's that. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the character or the mold, please feel free to ask. I'm also reviewing Armada Blurr. So, again, ask if you have any questions at all. I will be glad to answer those. With that, highly recommended. One of my favorite toys, design-wise, not posability-wise. So he's probably a 50-50. I'm glad I have him, but he's not a major breakthrough. I keep him in a box most of the time. So, with that recommendation in mind, thanks for watching.